$25 range
Okay.
for a new customer, because then that stays in healthy ratios with our, lifetime value based on purchases per year.
For sure. Do you guys do subscription, pay as you go, both?
Both, yeah. It's a
Okay.
one of the primary channels is a trial that then automatically converts, but people decide whether they want in or not after that, and then when they arrive at the site, it's a chart where you can click, subscribe and save, or just a la carte.
Okay, cool. And I'm sure you guys are doing retargeting. On the prospecting front, what are your ads like? What are your targeting methods? Are you guys primarily doing lookalikes? Are you doing interest-based targeting?
Yeah, I mean, we've settled into just lookalikes is the only thing that really works, right?
Yeah, we've experimented with
things.
a lot of things on trying to hone in the interest, but it's really lookalikes always seems to work better than anything we can come up with.
What ad products are you guys doing? Mostly carousels, single images, videos?
A little bit of everything we've been experimenting with. The single image has seemed to work best for us. But we know that videos and carousels, in the broader context of Facebook, everybody says that they're supposed to work better. So we keep trying to figure out a way to make those work. But in the meantime, it's been our single image ads that have really been delivering for us.
Yeah, I'd say don't worry if what's working, for you guys isn't what is typical for Facebook, because I think that every, single product's unique. For example, for us, we have a lot of success with boosted images, actually. So, boosting images that are originally a social post. And, based on what we hear from our Facebook ad reps, that's pretty atypical. They don't really see that much, or at least too much, but we're seeing a lot of success with it. I think that it from a delivery standpoint, boosted posts also have a way easier way of getting reach and gathering social metrics that kind of give social proof, because it comes across as a very organic looking post to a customer. It doesn't look super salesy. Everyone kind of has seen a carousel ad or a single image ad, and they're familiar with that being ads. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But for whatever reason, because boosted posts come across as more organic, Facebook seems more willing to kind of deliver it on a wide scale basis. Of course, we play with carousels as well. And carousels are taking up more of our bid now, but in January, boosted posts were 70% of our spend. Videos are harder to split test and generate, right? Because videos are just by nature harder to make. But if you can get a video clicking, you can really see some incredible results, because they can drive really, really cheap cost per clicks.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? Because, you can look at all the different metrics in the world, but how much you're getting a click to your website is, generally a pretty good indicator of the success. Also, the nice side, ancillary benefit is that video seems to drive a lot of, kind of view attribution, not click attribution. So that's kind of, gravy on top.
Yeah, I mean, what we've been doing with videos is using them in sort of a wider lookalike audience. So our primary is kind of mid-funnel new user acquisition stuff is happening with a 2% lookalike audience, and then we have a 4% lookalike audience that we're sending videos to. We are able to get really cheap impressions there. But it never really converts well into sales, and I'm thinking one of the things our Facebook rep, we're sort of optimizing those for video views, because that seems to be what makes it the cheapest. But I think the problem is those people don't really seem to be buying, so maybe we should try those videos.
Optimizing for video views will definitely allow you to get volume on video views, and I think that optimizing for video views is good in certain formats. Like, for example, if you did like a Facebook Live and then you wanted to boost that, and you're kind of caring more about engagement, but if you're really looking at, driving the sales, I would bid that on in add to cart basis. How are you guys bidding, by the way? Do you bid add to cart?
Yeah, add to cart is what we do.
Okay. Yeah, we do the same.
Yeah.
I would say also try playing around with interest targeting. Have you guys tried targeting Soylent and with an ad like Soylent for your brain?
Yeah, all that stuff's failed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, not mentioning Soylent specifically.
Is engagement low, or just people not following through and converting?
I guess, I don't know. We haven't targeted Soylent people with an ad that referenced Soylent.
Yeah, and I don't know, legally, maybe you had to talk to your legal team about that, but that could potentially work. Because on our end, when I came on board, we were doing pretty much all lookalike targeting, which is good. And I mean, we actually, oddly enough, we're not doing really any lookalike targeting right now, just because the campaigns that are interest-based are just outperforming and they're eating up all of the spend. And there's a lot of overlap, right? Because, pretty much if a lookalike audience at 1% is good, right, and you find really good interests, there's a high chance that they're, the overlap's pretty strong there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the nice thing about interest-based targeting is that it allows you to target subsets in an audience that isn't as easy to do with a lookalike. So, great example at Adore Me, right? We sell regular size lingerie, right? Like a 32B, but then we also sell plus size lingerie. So maybe we sell like a 38G, right? If you make a lookalike off of your purchasers, right? You don't know if that purchaser is plus size or regular size, right? So it makes it hard to try to deliver an appropriate ad. Whereas if you go to interest-based targeting, you can target plus size brands, right? And then exclude those from an interest targeting Victoria's Secret or Chanel, right? And so that allowed us to kind of target those subsets within what may have been a lookalike audience, and allowed us to be more effective. So I mean, for you guys, right? Maybe
there your interest space is to tailor for like a particular product, but for us, that wouldn't be relevant.
Yeah, you got one product, but you could even use it to tailor your specific marketing approach. Like, I'm just throwing this out there, but maybe you target a bunch of you target a bunch of success coaches, right, or like lifestyle coaches, and that those people that are liking that kind of stuff are into success or productivity
personal
hacking,
development,
and you hit them. You hit them with a specific pitch that's around what you're targeting that interest. Like, these people love productivity hacking, so you say, increase your productivity by 4x by hacking your brain or something like that. Or, you target, but that's what I'm kind of, I guess, getting at is like, lookalike is always going to be like effective because they're just similar to your target customers, but you can kind of use interest-based targeting to try to find like specific subsets that like people like a certain topic, and then you tailor the ad towards that certain topic. So you may be able to, see success doing it that way. Are you guys mostly Facebook, or are you playing around with Instagram at all?
Yeah, we do a lot of Instagram also.
Okay, cool. Also, with the carousels, you can drop videos and slideshows into the first slot with the carousel. So that's and then I'm pretty sure that then the first slot of the carousel auto plays. So that can be a good way of increasing the CTR of your carousels. Is like you throw maybe like an animated GIF or something into the first slot of the carousel, and that really grabs people's attention, and then you kind of push them to looking at the rest of the carousel. Because at the end of the day, the better engagement you get on your ad, the higher CTR, the lower CPC, the best chance that you have of hitting your target CPAs. Like anything that can, really like catch their eye and pull them in. And I mean, I'm throwing ads against the wall all the day, and very rarely, they don't stick. But when they do, they stick very well. But I definitely would keep playing around with, the interest-based targeting, because it can allow you to, target people based on what they feel, what they like, and then you tailor their ad to that, and it could work out.
So I got a question for you on, I assume what you guys are doing with boosting either pics or videos that get some good organic play. Our problem there, and that's what Candy Club has done as one of our kind of friends in the space over here with common investors. Like they put out posts organically, it gets a lot of play, and then they boost the ones that get play. We don't have enough engagement. Like good engagement for us is two clicks or whatever, 2 interactions, right? So like we don't have the following. So what we are trying to do is we're trying to hack that, and we have Henrique, aka Hank, here from Sao Paulo, Brazil, on our team, and we're trying to fake it and create videos like the ones that would be created by customers naturally that would get, that would get those kind of like likes and that type of engagement. And we're trying to reverse engineer the traits that make those look organic and that they do it. Like first person perspective, shot from the iPhone, not overly produced. Like, would you be able to describe a few traits that could help him in his hunt to kind of hack this system, or what's your general reaction to that?
Yeah. So first of all, I don't think it's necessary that the social post has a lot of likes for it to work. Now, like for example, at Adore Me, if I see a post organically that has greater than 800 likes, it's a good candidate to boost. It's a good candidate to boost because that's relative to our normal. I use it as just like a free barometer. Like, okay, social likes this. But I think that, like, if you only have 2 likes on your social post, what's the difference between that and launching a carousel that starts with 0 likes, right? There's no real difference. I think why boosted posts can sometimes work really well is, once again, it's how it comes across to the user. It doesn't look like an ad. It looks very social. It looks very organic. So while it would be nice for you to have more of a social presence so that you could see, like, hey, okay, we threw up these 5 social posts. This one by far had the most likes, so will probably be good to boost. You can still do boosted posts without really, like, you don't have to have like 500 likes on your post before you try to boost it.
No, I get that. It's just we don't get as clear of a signal.
Yeah, for sure.
That you guys would have. But I mean, are there, if you were to play director, would you cite any particular, production notes for Hank here to produce what looks like videos? Because we don't also get, the other thing is, like, we don't get a lot of likes. We also don't get a lot of people like making videos that with our product, and we could try to like we'll try to get more of that, and we'll try to ask for that and get that going. But like in the interim, like, we're really focused on him trying to hack it, and like we're telling him it's got to be raw, it's got to be 7 seconds, it's got to be shot with an iPhone, it's got to be shot first person. Like, have you thought about that? And maybe you haven't, because you don't have to rely on that, right? But like,
yeah, see, I'm kind of lucky by nature that, like, we have like a whole like photo, like, social production team that kind of is just like handing me stuff ready to be made. So, like, I don't really have to work too hard on like coming up with the content, because a lot of our content is just like, here it's a product shot, right? Because I have a bunch of different bras to push, or it's one of the editorial shots that they took. So I'm not so much on like the actual how to produce a good video, but I do have a client on the side that's not in the same space as you, but in the similar space. They're called Best Self Co, and they make these kind of productivity journals. And so I can shoot you an email after I just started doing ads for them, and they have some good creative stuff going on. Do you guys happen to have influencers pushing your products?
So
a lot of times influencers can be your best vehicle for creating content.
Yeah, so our history with influencers is we, over the course of 4.5 years, we've had basically mostly failures when we try to scale it past a very small sliver of the hardcore freaks and geeks in this space. So we have crazy
and that's the thing is, like, some of the benefit of the influencer doesn't even have to be that like you can't scale the actual influencer program to the moon, but that could be a great kind of farming station for your content. You know what I mean? Where even if these guys are like amateurs or stuff like that, it's that you have 50 influencers that you send a free product to every month, and from those 50 influencers are giving you two photos and a video each, and boom, right then there you have 150 pieces of content that you can like sift through and split test and test. I mean, so that could potentially help. We
so on the distribution side, stuff. Like it hasn't been big on distribution, like getting customers, but yeah, that's what we're doing now. We're actually we just started, kind of going back into it, because what some companies like, Dirty Lemon, for example, that I just talked to recently, like what they were doing is they, just like you're saying, basically they went to the influencers, and the way that we're looking at it is we want to see how they contextualize our product, what type of scenes, what type of shots, what type of mood, what type of tone, like they come up with, because they're just good at like knowing that they have a knack for what kind of moves in that world, right?
Yes, exactly.
So then
they're pretty tapped into how to get likes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's basically it. And then what Zach's doing at Dirty Lemon is like after that they just basically take that and they try to like codify what it was, and then they just have freelancers. Like you can keep having influencers do it, or you can just get some photographers and filmmakers, and they can just keep that rhythm going of what you learned from that. But yeah, like that's another thing that Hank's working on, is like trying to get a few influencers, contact a few and have them just get in the mix and start producing, so that we can see what they come up with.
Okay, cool. Are there like nootropic like celebrities?
No, there's only crazy motherfuckers. There really is. Like it's a weird, like the space is so new. We're defining the category. So the people that it's not a natural fit. We even used Hawk Media. Like it's failed miserably to have any good response rate. We're gonna try it again because we're insane. Definition of insanity. We'll try it for the 6th time. It failed the last 5, but no, because there aren't. Nobody thinks it's a fit. Oh no. Supplement lifters, nope, not a fit. Lifestyle, men's clothing, Bonobos, Warby Parker, blah, blah, blah. Nothing, no one obviously there is not such a thing as like we're the only functional food and beverage on earth with nootropics, so there isn't a set influencer.
Is there, do you have like a typical, like what would be your like typical average customer? Like if you were to like be able to put them into a group, are they like college students? Are they hardworking entrepreneurs? Are they?
Yeah, I would say hardworking entrepreneurs is pretty close. I mean, they're like 30 to 50, like creative class, at least inspired by that sort of subculture. So, but I would say it's a lot of creatives, a lot of this like WeWork, type.
Have you ever tried targeting WeWork?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
or partnering with WeWork, or kind of giving out free samples in there. I mean, that's tough, right? Because it's not only targeting the right people, but then hitting them with the right pitch. I personally, I think that I would be close to your target demo. But I haven't really dove in and tried nootropics. Frankly, I think you guys have a great product, because for me, it was, all the stuff I've seen is like pills and powders, right? And when you kind of package it into like a meal or a drink, I think it's easier to sell, and it's kind of a little bit more palatable, like to the mind and to actually doing it. So, I mean, I haven't, actually tried any, but frankly, it's because I haven't really even seen ads for it, or kind of gotten like, pushed in that direction. So it's kind of interesting to think, how would I get, someone like me to dive in and try. We do some Pinterest, but Pinterest is a little tougher on the targeting. You kind of have to go like a little bit, like you kind of have to get your kind of product to be able to work with like like kind of a broader audience. Like even right now, we're still it's hit or miss getting Pinterest to work. We're experimenting with some YouTube ads, but that requires a strong video, to really get it to work.
Yeah, on eat.com, I'm going to switch topics to email unless you guys have something else on acquisition. Last call for acquisition. Okay, we're moving on to email. Do you do email yourself? Do you guys have a full-time email marketing manager, and like a few full bandwidth people on that?
Yeah, we have like a team of 4 or 5 on the engagement side. They're handling mailers, newsletters, all of that. So I really don't have too much experience or help on that front.
Okay, but no. So wait, how connected is it to your role? Because I have a bunch of questions on email, but I'm just wondering like how how you guys set it up.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, my job is online acquisition. So basically, I get graded on sales, but also on cost per email. So, how much I'm able to get, how many emails I'm able to get for a certain price. And basically when people sign up, like at that point my job's kind of, done. And the email team is dealing with 2 buckets. One is, people who have signed up and not purchased. So they're, emailing them, trying to get them to make their first purchase. And then they have, the engagement side of things.
And what's the tech stack? Like what platform are they using for the automated drips?
I don't know. I could ask for you, but like I'm pretty much completely like removed from that side, other than a thumbs up when the cost per email is good.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, maybe I don't know if there's appetite, but that'd be something where it would be great to connect Alex if they were keen to share knowledge. Like we feel like we're pretty far along on email in terms of like we have a bunch of different journeys and like we measure everything that comes out of there and we try to optimize our drips and do a lot of experiments there.
Yeah, I'll talk to them today and I'll put you guys in touch if they're interested. What's your revenue at, by the way?
We're shy of, run rate wise, we're a little under 5 million.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been in business for?
Since Q1 of 2013.
Okay, cool. And you guys still have one product?
No,
Do you have different flavors, or
we are testing out other formats, but the idea with the box of drinks is that it's already set, so you don't, like someone like you, like maybe you are exposed to this idea and you think it's very complicated, and we've sort of done the thinking for you and giving you like a box of some are regular and some are extra strength, so kind of like have already figured out the right mix for you, so you don't get like oversaturated. You can't.
Yeah, for sure. Where I'm like going crazy one day and don't feel the next.
Exactly. Yeah, and you can't just have the max strength every single day with this type of thing. So
have you guys tried targeting like Luminosity? What was the name of that company?
Yeah, Luminosity and Headspace and the various apps. Yeah, that's been in, I think that all those have sort of been in the failed interest tests. And maybe...
we're like, you'd have to talk to your, like, legal team about, how far you can push this envelope. But, like, imagine an ad that's, like, you target people that like Luminosity, right? And the ad is, like, Luminosity in a drink. And it's, like, someone stuffing their phone into the drink or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, where... You're hitting the people based on the interest that that they like, and boiling down what your product does into something that they're familiar with, instead of having to get, too crazy scientific. It's like, oh, this is luminosity in a drink. Like, instead of the app, I just drink this, and it's going to keep me sharp and my brain sharp. I'm just spitballing. But
surprised.
The reason why I kind of thought about that is because I was going to ask you guys if you had done tests or studies proving the effectiveness of your product, because that could be an interesting, advertising angle. But I also know that can be legally some fine, a fine line, because luminosity, they got nabbed with that, right, from the FTC.
Yeah, it's tough and it's very expensive, but that's sort of like a post-Series A thing for us. But I'm just surprised, I guess, that you were able to switch from now you haven't been there too long, right? Was this before you got there, or this was the change that you took them on to go from lookalikes into these very specific interest based? And how many do you guys have, right? Do you have is it mostly around sizing of the products and the body type essentially, or?
Yeah, so body type was a big split that we did, but we target a bunch of different things. I'll bundle a bunch of subscription companies together, right? Because if someone has bought or likes subscription companies, maybe Birchbox, then they're probably more likely to be willing to buy things online and have them show up to their door in a box, So for you guys, that's once again why I brought up the Soylent thing, right? Because people that like Soylent are familiar with getting kind of a monthly subscription of a type of drink that's providing them with some sort of convenience and or health benefit. So that's how I look at the interest-based targeting is, when we launch swimwear, I'll look for, what things that people like swimwear would potentially like. And the thing is that it's not necessarily that these are going to replace lookalikes or do better than lookalikes, but you kind of have to keep trying different angles and different varieties and different segments and different ways to relate to segments, in order to make it work, in order to make it work. Because, lookalikes, first of all, especially when you're trying to scale, are going to be capped, right? 1%, and if you want to go to 5%, you're going to take a performance hit. And, we have a very high spending budget, so, I wasn't able to hit it with lookalikes. And then also, once again, with lookalikes, you're bucketing your customers, or you're bucketing people around, that they look similar to one of your potential customers, right? And that's the whole beauty of lookalikes. But if you think about that, right, how is Facebook doing this, right? And they're doing it probably very much so based on demo targeting, right? They're looking at your list of 50,000 customers, and they're saying, what are the common similarities in their demo targeting? But where the shortcoming in the lookalike is that they're not allowing you then to segment out that demo targeting, right? Because if your lookalike based on past customers is 30 to 50 people with, X income that are in these kinds of jobs, or that are entrepreneurs that like companies like Soylent, that like, brands like, or software like Shopify or Luminosity, right? They're not allowing you to segment that stuff up because you're going to have a different pitch. If you're walking down the street and you're selling your product and you ask someone well, what are the things you like? I like Soylent, right? You're going to pitch them something completely different than someone that's like, I like Tony Robbins. Because at Tony Robbins, maybe you're going to hit him with this is going to help you, keep your mind, in the right place to be successful in all areas of your life, right? You're going to hit them with different approaches. And so, the same thing is online. You're going to want to hit them with different ads. If you try to hit everyone with, this one-size-fits-all ad, which is what a lookalike lets you do, your interest targets will never work.
So how big are the audiences that you'll typically segment off for these interest ones?
They're usually in the low millions.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can. It's really whatever. Whatever kind of works. I don't think that it has to be a certain size to be effective.
Right.
I mean, the size will affect your ability to scale it. But also I think that your bid, will probably have a bigger impact on your ability to scale it. So what you have a $20 to $25 target CPA, and what's your website conversion rate?
Right now we hover around like 3%.
That's good. So then that means that 3 out of 100. So if you're getting what's your CPC on Facebook?
So it really varies by the ad and the ad type, and it's usually around $2.
Oh my God, that's high.
Yeah.
You guys need to get that down to like 60 cents, and then you can scale to the fucking moon. That's your big. If you're paying $2 a click, you need a 10% conversion rate. You're never going to hit that on Facebook. You're going to hit a 2% conversion rate if you're lucky. So you guys need to have a cost per click of 50 cents, 40 cents. And the way that you get that kind of cost per click is having a CTR of 1.25%, 1.5%.
Right.
And that requires you to, be hitting people with shit they want to click on.
Right. Yeah, I think that's, our problem. Like, our relevance scores on our ads, like, they rarely top 6. And
where are you guys at, or what do you consider good?
I don't look at relevance score like on a regular basis. Like, I do check it. And our good, really good performing ads are like 8s, maybe 9s. But I think relevance at the end of the day is just their fancy way of CTR, right? Like a simpler way for people to understand CTR. If you really what it sounds like is you just need to get that CPC down. Are you guys manually setting your add to cart bid, or are you having Facebook do that?
We're doing automatic bid, but that's like, we want to move over to manual bids. I've tried doing it a couple of times and it didn't work right away, and we have to keep growing, so I just switched back to automatic bid.
For sure. It can be tough and awkward to try to switch what you're doing, because I've tried to switch the add to cart to purchase and had mixed results.
Right. When it doesn't work, then I freak out and just pull the plug and go back.
For sure, 100%. Because basically your add to cart needs to be like $2.50 or less.
Right.
But and Facebook's is probably giving you a $5 one or something like that. I think that you guys need to try some just at the end of the day. I know this sounds obvious, but try things that are just gonna fucking make people click. That's how you're gonna win on Facebook. You need a 50 cent or less cost per click. How are you gonna get that? Literally take a picture of one of your products or a Soylent lookalike can and literally be Soylent for your brain, and make it look super wild and controversial, and then target people on Facebook that like Soylent that are in your ideal age demo. That's the kind of stuff that's going to get people to boom click. You know what I mean? It has to be kind of not controversial, but kind of controversial. It has to stand out on the grid. Me, if I'm scrolling through and I see this drink will help you work harder. That's cool, and maybe the picture is really eye catchy, or the text kind of draws me in. But it's the stuff that really sticks out. Honestly, if I saw Soylent for your brain or something like that, you know what I mean? Because instantly I know what that means.
Right.
I know okay, this is a Soylent that's gonna help me, have better cognitive abilities. Right. That's at the end of the day. If I was to give you, that sounds like you just need ads that are going to generate higher CTRs. For example, today was not a good day for me in terms of getting new ads to stick. We have some good ads working right now, but we're also doing some price testing, which is, making it harder to keep volume up. And so, we have some good ads that are running right now, and we had some new products that came in, and I threw up an ad and it sucked, and I threw up another ad and it sucked, and I threw up another ad and it sucked. And I could have looked at 100 different metrics, but it's like, why are these ads sucking? And it's because they have a 0.4% CTR.
Right.
And a 0.4% CTR, Facebook's bidding algorithm, it's all relative. If you have a 0.4% CTR, your CPC is going to be $2. Right. If you have a 1.4% CTR, your CPC is going to be 40 cents. And, that's where I want my CPC at, because that's how I'm going to be profitable. In January when I first came on, I got really way too ingrained with trying to look at all of these different metrics, right? And then at the end of the day, it really just boiled down to me. It's I need to push ads that have a 1.2% CTR or higher, or it just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Because if your CPC is too high, unless you have the best conversion funnel in the world, it's just not going to click.
Right. Another question. So when you're running these interest groups, do you exclude the lookalikes audience? Because I'm thinking we're not going to want to pull the plug on our lookalike ads that we have going, but you make a compelling case to get back into targeting interests. How do we do both in an effective way without sort of bidding against
let the winner take the winnings. So don't exclude one from the other. If you launch, but I would make your interest your interest budget smaller, right? Because then it's not, and then closely monitor the performance and just manually pause an ad. If you see that CTR is below 1%, don't even bother. It's not it's not worth it. But yeah, we did this whole thing with excluding interest from lookalikes and stuff like that. And first of all, what I've heard from the ad reps is that when you get too kind of granular with the exclusions, it ends up not actually working and kind of just backfiring and making your campaign work wonky. So if you think about it, right, if you have your lookalikes running and you have your interest-based targeted running, if your interest-based targeting gets a 2% CTR, you're going to want to push it. Facebook's going to want to push it. It's going to naturally cannibalize the lookalikes, but you're not going to mind because you're going to have probably, great performance. But yeah, so I wouldn't worry about excluding them one for the other, because as long as lookalikes is driving the better performance, Facebook is going to, favor that. Just keep your budgets on your interests low while you're testing.
And would you recommend, how important is it that we move over to manual bids? I mean, that seems like
very, very important,
right?
Because how it works on my end, there's still fucking problems with Facebook. First of all, one big lesson I've learned over the past month is don't throw a new ad into an ad set with a ton of available budget, because Facebook will just fuck you and they'll spend $1,000 on a shit ad. So that's been the thorn in my back for this past month. But yeah, if you set it to how it normally should work is if you set the bid manually, right? You have probably a pretty set number that your add to cart has to be at, right? Because your post add to cart funnel is going to be pretty static in terms of conversion rate, mm-hmm. no matter what kind of traffic you're sending, right? If you're sending shit traffic, the drop off's usually going to be before the add to cart, right? So if you guys have a 3% conversion rate and a $25 CPA, then your add to cart probably needs to be I'd say $2.50, $3. So you'd want to bid max, add to cart max. You'd want to bid at $4 or $4.25. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to bid average, I don't like bidding average, but you'd set that average to whatever you need that target add to cart to be. And then in an ideal world, what happens is if an ad can't hit that performance, it's just not going to run. Right. After $100 spend or whatever. Right. It just won't go. But yeah, if you're setting it to automatic, I just got a client on board, and his stuff's set to automatic, and it's just manual gives you that level of control,
right?
That I think is really important, and just it kind of forces it to. It's not going to run if it's not going to hit your target performance.
Right.
And like Nick, how much do you guys, or I don't know if you'll share like some general range, like how much are you spending on Facebook a month?
You know, we spend in the hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely up there. So
And that's
there's
really
a lot
like
of available
90
volume, you know. But we sell a very broad product, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people can relate to it. So I think that we may have a higher, you know, cap in terms of, you know, how much we can scale. But I mean, there's definitely a lot of scaling to be done.
And not much else is competitive with that from like a CAC metric.
Like other platforms.
Like yeah, just on acquisition costs.
Yeah, Facebook is it. I mean, do you guys do any AdWords?
We are going to be retesting that with some things, yeah. But those are really we're excited about that test, but other than that, you know, we are like very small on Amazon, but I think that takes a while to grow. But yeah, other than that, we're concentrating on, you know, trying to get better at Facebook.
Yeah, I would try Google Shopping, you know, that could work, you know, fairly well for you guys. And yeah, I mean, Facebook, it's just, you know, test, but I think that, you know, a lot of times it really boils down to just, you know, and putting a compelling ad in front of the right audience, you know, putting that Soylent for your brain in front of people who like Soylent, you know, putting, you know, something on growth hacking, you know, in front of people who like, you know, growth hacking things on Facebook, and just making that, you know, the ad compelling and interesting. I mean, it's not just the visual too; it's the text. Like I you know, I've seen it. Like, you know, the difference in how you hit someone with text can make all the difference. You know. So yeah, I mean, I think that Facebook is just keep throwing stuff against the wall until it sticks, but when it sticks, you're going to get longevity out of it. Like, your interest-based targeting isn't working for you, but when you get it to work, it will work, and it'll work well, and it'll bring in, you know, customers for a long time.
Okay. Well, yeah, Nick, listen, this was great, man. Appreciate the help. You know, are there any folks that you speak with about this type of stuff that you think would be down to share with us? You know, we're just sort of on a refresh of, you know, product companies and sharing knowledge here.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I don't really have anyone specific. You know, mostly, you know, people I'm looking at, you know, blogs or articles of, you know, good, you know, Facebook posts and stuff like that. Like I just got wind of Target did a video carousel where this girl, so video carousel meaning all 5 slots are videos, and as someone slides across them, they autoplay, and this girl walks through each of the screens switching outfits.
Yeah.
But like the outfits get switched off screen, but like when you like kind of scroll through it, it's a really cool effect.
That fashion sometimes comes up with some good innovations.
Yeah, another really cool one I saw that Dunkin' Donuts did. I think they were like selling burritos or something. They did some sort of effect. I'll link you to the article where they made the products look 3D because they put like the upper 20% quartile on a white background, but like the burrito came over the white background, and so how it laid out on Facebook, it had this 3D effect. Like maybe you could replicate something similar with one of your drinks.
Hey, you know, there's a good group. We did some work with, you know, Facebook has this in-house group of ad strategists, and the rep he put me onto. It's a group. It's #PlayMore in Facebook, and it's all these like guys that really geek out on like ways of creative ways of using the ads.
Sweet hashtag play more.
Yeah, and it's really interesting shit that they really fuck around with the medium. It's pretty creative stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, because that's my biggest like focus right now, is just like brainstorming with the content team like ways to create ads that stand out and stick and get that CTR.
Yeah.
And one last thing, we had success with the video on Facebook. It was like, I know you're not doing too much influencer stuff, but it was kind of like this influencer like soft selling our products while talking about like, you know, body positivity with women, right? And, you know, I'm sure you guys could recreate something similar where maybe someone's talking about, you know, succeeding at entrepreneurship. You know,
yeah, but how did you? What was
where did you? Kind of soft selling the product in the video a little bit. There's something really key and core around someone else selling your product.
For sure, but like, where did that video appear? Like, what channel did you? Was that a Facebook ad?
Yeah, Facebook.
But how long was it? Like, how long was it? I'm just trying to picture the thing you're talking about. Like, how long were they talking about body positivity?
I'll link you to it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's great. So we'll think of if you want to share notes with somebody a bit who's more in your spend range, we'll think about that and get back to you, or have Alex get back to you and see if you guys are interested in that as well. And then if your email guys want to chat, we'd love to do that too. If not, no big deal. But yeah, we can share some knowledge there.
Sweet, appreciate that. And yeah, like anything that comes across your guys' plate, if it's things that you guys are doing or other people that you see are doing, that just stands out as cool, cutting edge, I'd appreciate just, you know, shooting it over. That stuff can really make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And send us your address too. We'll send a box of True Brain over to you.
Oh, appreciate it.
Awesome.
Sweet. Well, hey, you guys are a little earlier into the day. You guys are in LA, or?
Yeah, we're in Santa Monica.
Nice. I actually just moved to New York. I was in Santa Monica. I had a startup. We were on 1610 Broadway.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah. So you guys enjoy that nice weather over there. I fucking miss it for sure.
Yeah, you got it, Nick.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Okay, cheers. Thanks a lot.
Bye.